Florida heat is testing. And if in the world of tomatoes, you're wondering what's happening with yours, you have none to show, I have nothing to show. But you look on the internet and other people have, and it is now too late and too problematic for you to get any. I'm here to tell you the strategy because it is time to realize that there's a strategy above the seeds. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to go straight to the whiteboard. Okay, because there are things that we need to know at this time of year, especially in heat-stricken areas, that we need to overcome to get tomatoes. Heat proof. That is the first thing I realize that I need to do to focus on these tomato varieties, okay? Heat proofing varieties. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some varieties that you need to start with. I did the research, I went down a rabbit hole, I must tell you. I went down a rabbit hole and I came up with 7 varieties, and I'm gonna tell you the least to the very top that you need to have in your garden now. Okay, so the number 7 variety, the least favored one that is still favored in the Florida area, our heat-stricken area, is the sun gold. The name suggests it all. Yes, it is golden, and it is golden in the sun. But what makes it good is not that it is the best heat tolerant, it is the taste. And it is a good old faithful, and it will keep producing until for whatever reason you stop it. Okay? So that's number 7, sun gold. Let's move on. Sweet 100 is another variety that is very good, okay? It is good in that it is prolific. It grows tasty, smaller tomatoes that keep going and can manage the heat, manage the pest pressure. So that is what makes it a good one in Florida. For the past week or so, I've been searching online real hard, where to buy these seeds. And I realized that no, at this time of year, they're hard to come by. And when you do find them, it is so expensive. Clearly, you know why, but that is another one, Sweet 100. So let's work on the others. The other variety I wanted you to know about is Tasti-Lee, okay? Yes, the name suggests it. I love how they give these tomatoes names where the name is very suggestive. It can give you a hint. But the Tasti-Lee is one where if you are not a person that is into the small cherry tomatoes and you want something bigger, something for salads, something for sandwiches, Tasti-Lee is just that. It is much bigger. But bear in mind though, what I've noticed with these tomatoes in doing my research, the bigger they are, you have to sacrifice something for something. So the bigger varieties, they opt out of taste for size. So the bigger they are, they're not the most tasty, but it can manage the heat and manage the pest pressure now in Florida. So that is another good one for you to consider. Okay, let's move on. There are 2 varieties that I make sure I'm going to be writing on this clipboard here. Florida 91 and the Solar Fire. Make a note of that. So these 2 varieties were bred here in Florida. The University of Florida did the Florida 91, and it made sure that it bred a variety of tomatoes specifically for the heat, the humidity, the pest pressure, and the size of the tomatoes can combat certain things like this torrential, the sporadic rainfall that we have. It is not big enough so that when heavy rain comes, it falls off, or it gets that engorged that you have the tomatoes splitting. No, they are small enough to combat that. So these are 2 varieties that are real good that you can consider. And just to add, in the south, these are known to be very prolific, very good. So they are sought after a lot. So these are 2 varieties that I'm going to be searching for and making sure I have a packet of 2 of seeds of these varieties. So let's continue. We're moving up to number 1. And just in case you're just joining me, Deb here, 2 raised beds to freedom, fast producing raised beds, easy, economical, DIY, organic, minimal space and minimal effort. And I'm here, the objective here, to grow food in whatever space, the smallest space to the grandiose of spaces, and to show that you can do it. And of course, in an economical way. So if that resonates with here, come back. I'm here, small space, big family, but we are moving along and we are learning together and we're going to sow together. I had an event in my garden, but here it is now, going again. I have blossoms coming up. See, my peppers are going. Oh, I have an eggplant here. Should go sideways. Eggplant there. And over here, I have more blooms. My eggplants are going. You know, they are proving that they are very strong. Oh, I have a pepper that I need to pick, nice and red. And everything is going along. So join me in my small space and let's move along. We're talking about prolific tomato varieties, especially for the south and heat-stricken areas that you may want to know about. Okay, so we've mentioned a few already. Let's move on. Heat Master, as the name suggests. I've seen those in the big box store. I think I've seen those in Lowe's a couple of weeks back. But the Heat Master, as the name suggests, it can manage the heat. Okay? And the thing about these tomatoes are, just remember, what helps to make these breeds special? For tomatoes to be successful, yes, you grow the plant, but to get the fruit, the temperature is important. Over 95 degrees in the day, pollen becomes sterile, and over 75 degrees at night, it is equally sterile. So if you meet a type of tomato that can withstand that, that is important, okay? And this is where the Heat Master comes along. Now I'm going to move on to the best of the best, the number one of all 7 that you must have here in the South. Stay with me. Now for the creme de la creme, the top tomato for the south. That is the Everglades tomato. It is a very prolific variety. Small tomatoes that are always producing. The only thing that stops them is the frost and if the temperature really goes above like 100 degrees or something. But here in Florida, that variety is second to weeds. It regenerates itself because it seeds itself, it keeps going, and it comes back every year and produces a whole bunch. So because of that, you can have produce year-round, close to year-round. So that is a variety you need to check out. I have some, and just so you know, if you want to work with me and come along with this channel, I have many things, tips, tricks, whether frugal or things that you can do to help you in the garden. Check those videos out. I'm going to connect them here and here. You may see them just above you, but just continue along with me, right? So I hope someone benefited from this. I'm going to lay out these 7 tomatoes on the screen and put whether they are determinate or indeterminate. Oh, that's the other thing, because this might help someone. From time to time, the question is thrown, oh yeah, what is the difference between a determinate and an indeterminate tomato? Remember this wording. Indeterminate is the same as infinite. It keeps going, it keeps growing. It's the vining type, okay? So unless frost or severe heat, something extreme within the atmosphere, then that tomato keeps going. That is what makes it infinite, indeterminate. Okay, now the determinate ones are the shorter, more statue ones. You know, they grow to a certain degree and they stop, but they produce and they can produce well for you. But if you know those differences, then you know what type you have and where to place them. Because like a vining tomato type, you definitely need it within a trellising system such as this, where you can secure it properly at the top because it's going to keep going. And your shorter types, you can put it in an open bed such as this. It doesn't necessarily need any support because it's going to grow to this level and stop and still produce for you. Now, that is all from me today. Deb here, signing out with another one. See you in the next one, okay? You take care until then. Bye.